Hello again, and it's the Camel again, and welcome back to a new episode of F1 2017. I'm really happy that we are back at this game, and I'm really happy also about last week's episode. It was a really nice race in Australia, but now we are in China. I totally forgot that China was in between. I was already going to Bahrain in my mind, but that was totally wrong. So yeah, we are in today's episode driving in China, and we've got a nice race upcoming. But first of all, I had a little bit of an event in between. I didn't record that one. It was just a little bit of an event to gain some career points, which I did, and improved my career score a little bit. But apart from that, it was not too exciting. So we jump right ahead into the new weekend. But before doing so, because I thought that fell a little bit short in the last video, I just quickly wanted to show you the overview on the development tree, where you can see we can develop the powertrain, the durability. We can also upgrade the aero package, and also some minor changes in different areas of the chassis. That was the one I was looking for. As you can see here, we have many possibilities to improve that one. And in this year's version of F1, it's a little bit more important to go for durability, I guess, instead of just quick updates. So I'm saving some of my points to make some better improvements instead than some quick improvements. But talking about improvements, we are jumping right into the first practice I did, and this was basically a track acclimatization, it's called, where you have to go through all of these doors. And as you can see, this little turn over here is one I missed a few times in this training session, and just in general in this game. I don't really know why it was, but in the race later on I perfectly managed to take this turn always really good. Though I have to say, and I'll use this very acclimatization because it's just a little bit boring driving through all these gates, or checkpoints I should say, to explain a little bit more about what's going on in this weekend. So I jumped into this China weekend, and I just had only 2 hours to do so, because I'm a little bit short on time, because as you may know, I'm going to Frontier Expo on the weekend in London. I was invited to go there, and I'm really looking forward to it, so I just needed to do this whole thing in one go, and surprisingly that worked out pretty well, because I have to say, after the long time I practiced for the Australian Grand Prix, I feel like I am finally just arrived in this game. I finally have the flow back of driving. Shifting is not that big of an issue any longer, so I can really concentrate on my driving, even though it doesn't look like that at the moment. It's basically because I needed to just feel a little bit better and more comfortable on this track. That said, China's maybe my weakest track of all those tracks, because maybe Monaco is even worse, but it's also, I don't like this kind of track. It's, you know, these really tight corners followed by slightly slightly turned straights. They're not going straight into the next longer straight. They're always windy curves outside of tight corners, which is really a struggle for the back tires and for the acceleration in general. So you have to be really careful on the throttle, as well as on the movement on the steering wheel. So if you want to go out of these kind of snail turns all over the place, for example like this one over here, you have to be really cautious on the throttle. As you can see on the right down side, okay, it's now a little bit late that I said this, but if you just watch the green bar on the right bottom corner of the screen, you can see how I need to play with the throttle going out of the turns. As you can see over here in the very last hairpin, I missed it, really bad lockup into this one, and then I can't go on the throttle full. I have to just play a little bit until I can go full throttle again. Same goes for this corner over here, which is a little bit more easy than the other ones were, but in the end we managed to make this a kind of nice program. And yeah, I just felt a little bit better after this, but we used the hardest tire compound we have in this weekend. This is the medium tire. We then have soft and super soft again. I think I never used this compound again on this weekend, so those times I'm putting in right now are really not relevant at all. But yeah. so as I said, moving on then to another little training program we have. This is the tire wear program, and since this is a really nice one and really simple one, I just leave you alone with this kind of lap, and we see each other in the next training session again.
So we can analyze the data. Box this lap.
So here we are in the next training session, which is effectively the qualifying one already. So I thought this weekend is a little bit shorter, so I didn't do too much of practice sessions. And jumping into the qualifying, we see rain appeared. So yeah, doing all the little bit of training sessions in practice sessions in dry conditions, that's really a surprise. And so I had to put in my lap on heavy rain, so on the heavy rain tires, and I was totally unexperienced on a track I don't feel comfortable at all, and on a track I haven't been on in this game for long. Just about an hour of driving I had on this track, nearly, maybe even less. I think it was maybe even half an hour, just doing those 3 training practice programs, so not more than this. And so in qualifying 1 we had to put our lap down on heavy rain tires, and yeah, I think regarding the fact that I didn't have any practice on these tires, and honestly just driving a few times in rain at the very beginning when the game came out without any experience in the game at all, this was really a challenge for me. But yeah, at the end of this lap we will see if that paid out.
Fastest lap. Good job.
Fortunately, it did pay out. As you can see, I managed to go into P8 of the qualifying 1, and it was surprisingly and also really tight for my teammate Kevin Magnussen. He just managed to be 14th in this training session, and a few tenths slower he would have fell out of qualifying 1. But then moving up into qualifying 2, you can see the track kind of dried out a little bit, and we are already at the end of our yeah, last go in the way. And as you can see on the top right corner, time is running out, so I waited a long time until I set my first time, because the track kept drying out and I thought it wasn't too necessary to put in a lap, and I needed to make sure that this lap is really good to go into qualifying 1. So remember, we have to be in the top 10 to go on to qualifying 3 and to be in the shootout. And as you can see, coming around the last corner of this track, we are moving up into P7. P7, that moves us into qualifying 3, I thought. As you can see, time is running out, just a few seconds left, 17 seconds. Somehow I had the feeling maybe P7 wouldn't be enough because the track was drying out so quickly that I thought, okay, I'd give it another go. And as you can see on the top right corner, we are gaining hugely already out of turn 1 and 2, going up to nearly half a second quicker than our previous lap. And so I thought, okay, I need to finish that lap. Still, I believe it's I was not sure at this stage if I needed to go till this point, and I also didn't know if the race tomorrow will be in dry or wet conditions, because if it will be in wet conditions, we have to start on these tires, so a second quick lap wouldn't be too good on these tires again, like we had in the last race. But I just wanted to go into the next qualifying session, so I just went up and tried to keep the performance high. And as you can see, our delta is really good, going to nearly 1 second quicker than in our previous lap. And now you can see we are dropping down to 10s, 11s, and we are out of qualifying 3. Even our teammate Magnussen jumped us, so this is really important now to make this stick and to make this lap work. As you can see, going a little bit wide, but pretty easy holding the car on track. Jeff is also telling us that we fell out of Q3 at this very moment, and yeah, coming into the last hairpin of this course, I just wanted to make sure to get this one, so braking maybe a little bit early. You can see the delta was going down, but then it's going up again, quite immense, because it was a really nice exit out of this turn, going then really cautious into the last turn, and then making it stick, and we are moving up into P... What did we do? Yes, P6 it was. So we moved up into P6 with this lap, and honestly, I felt this was one of the best laps I did in the game so far. Imagine it's just drying out, so you don't really know where the limit is. Maybe I could have gone a little bit quicker, maybe not, but looking at the cars around me and looking at my teammate who fell out of this completely, it was a really nice performance. I mean, that was a really nice performance. Yeah, then again, moving into the last qualifying, it was a little bit tricky. As you can see on the top right corner, time is running out. Sebastian Vettel is setting the fastest time with 1:49.9, which was really quick. And I needed to beat a 1:52.4 to get into another place. I didn't set a time so far because it was still drying out a lot, as you may have seen from the time Vettel did. I didn't have the best of the runs. It was not that nice of a lap, but honestly I knew that we wouldn't be going too far into the positions 1 to 9, and there was not that big of a chance to go any quicker. The car just was not good enough at this weekend. P6 in qualifying 2 was just because we set the last lap at all, and it was really nice timing, also coming really bad out of this last turn. It moves us into P10. You couldn't have seen that because I just cut the video there. But yeah, P10 is really solid thing for the race, and now let's move on to the race, and I'll leave you alone until we go full throttle into this race.
Shanghai International Circuit then, a 16-corner high-speed...
So, moving then up into the formation lap. I didn't show that last time, so I wanted to show you that there is a formation lap now in where you have to warm up your tires. And as you can see, it's dry. So we had our whole qualifying in rain, but now it's dry. And let's see, how did we get away this time? And we have a really decent start this time. It was really a nice start, considering it was my second start. Then, as you can see on the left-hand side already, there is Ocon, I believe it is, coming onto us and really squeezed us into really tight into the middle of this corner. I tried to stay somewhere, but I didn't find a spot. Then there was a spot, maybe Hulkenberg in the middle blocked us a little bit. We had to move to the outside, but on the inside, Ocon goes through. We can't make it stick, and we, yeah, just try to get onto his tail. But then I needed to make this really bad move into this one because I wanted to get Ocon back, and fortunately it worked. But then he's coming on the left hand side, pushing us wide. We have some damage on the rear left, I suppose. Then having another go from the right hand side, and he pushed us again. And somehow I managed to keep the car on the track, and I don't know why, but nobody else overtook us. So let's watch the replay of this really crazy start. As you can see, I had a really decent start, I have to say. I was getting away quite nicely, but Ocon just had a really good start. Maybe I was a little bit late onto the second gear, so that's why I wasn't making it stick there. But yeah, trying to keep to the inside is not the best idea on this track, because the next turn is a left-hander, so it's a little bit close there, so you want to be on the inside then. But I was on the outside, so I needed to stay close to Ocon, which wasn't working so well. But as you can see, he was really early on the brakes, because Hulkenberg did brake very early as well. He left us some space, but then moving out of the turn, he turned into us, just into us. Did you see that one? But then I thought I was clear, but then we had a push from Kvyat. I have to say, honestly, I squeezed him a little bit too far to the outside. There you have seen debris flying away, and yeah, my car was really feeling a little bit weird afterwards. Because going then to the back straight, you can see I had a little bit struggled to keep the car on the track, and as you can see, we are getting overtaken by Kvyat, who was then moving up into 10th position, and we have to stay behind him because there was no chance to re-overtake him right now. I just felt really bad on the rear, because I had also some struggle with the MGUK. So I couldn't go into rich or standard mix, I guess. I was in rich mix, but it didn't work. So I was also losing to those guys. I believe they were all in rich mix. So yeah, that's basically a bad thing. As you can see over here, also braking into this corner over here, I had really struggled on the backhand side of the car. I believe something got broken when Kvyat and Ocon hit us there. But yeah, it's really, I was trying to get onto my pace, which was a little bit, yeah, tricky right now, because as I said, this is the really first time I'm driving on super soft tires on this track, because after testing a little bit around on mediums and soft, it was all wet, and we had just heavy rain and rain tires, and yeah, so intermediate I meant. But yeah, so we are moving then on to the next lap, lap 2, and as you can see, we have a really bad exit out of the last turn, so Ocon could overtake us on the inside. I couldn't do much about it, but I knew I needed to go then a little bit of a different line into this first corner, and maybe we can, yes we can overtake him again. So it was really important to hold us in front of him, because going a little bit wider on into turn 1 allows us to stick a little bit more to the inside, as you can see a little bit better in the replay right now. Really bad exit, moving way too wide out of the track, even going into the dirty track, and Ocon had a really easy go into the first corner. But as you can see, I know that when he's going to the inside, I need to get the wider angle to have a little bit of a go inside. And as you can see, it seemed as if I have hit him there on the rear right tire, but I didn't do. On the onboard, you could have seen I didn't touch him, so that was a strange movement he made there. But yeah, anyways, we made it stick, so we gained the 11th position back, and so fortunately I was somehow finding my pace back. And as you can see, when Kvyat goes into the pits, I had also again a little bit of a bad move into the last corner, but as you can see, I just made my quickest lap of the race so far, and the huge advantage was that since we started with completely new tires, I had a nice and a decent tire wear, so it was not too bad, and I could recover from the first laps, and my back also or my rear felt really good. So I tried to give it another shot, and try to put in a quick time here before going then into the pits for soft tires. And as you can see now, we are at the end of this lap. We needed to let Mr. Hamilton pass. He was way quicker, he had the new tires on, so there was no reason for me to block him. I was really happy with the lap. It wasn't not a perfect one, but it was a really quick one. And then going into the pits, I really hate this one. This is where Hamilton threw away his championship chances in 2008. Going into the pits, I was again a little bit too cautious on the brakes, trying to avoid the 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but I could have been a little bit more quick into the pit, but yeah, never mind. We are just having our pit stop. This time I was aware of holding down the clutch, and we have a nice go outside. And now the big question is, can we jump Kvyat there? Can we do it or can we not? As you can watch now on the left hand side, there is Kvyat coming. We didn't jump him, but we closed the gap a lot. Like, I was behind him like 3 seconds, and now we are right up to his tail. So that was a really good pit stop. We just extended the life of our super soft tires, having another quick lap instead of going in too early on. And also because this is a shorter race, the advantage of one lap is way bigger than in a normal race, so you can really reckon it could be the advantage of nearly 4 laps in total. So my tires were a lot fresher than the ones of Kvyat, and as you can see, somehow we are in the next lap, we are going to the back of Raikkonen. I believe he had a problem, so he was holding off Kvyat as well, so I'm losing a lot of time on the straights, but then again, into those corners I have a lot more downforce, and I can go really close to the back of Kvyat. And now I try to take the better angle out of this corner. I have a really nice exit going now, and I know I have to make this move now, because otherwise if Raikkonen can pick up the pace again, I won't have that many chances left. But then again, I just did it, squeezed him to the outside, made a clean move here. I think he also let me some space, which is a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit surprising for Mr. Kvyat. But then again, going to the back straight, I know that my car is really bad on the straights, because I'm running again way too much downforce, because I was also hoping for a wet race, but it isn't, and so I have a lot of problems going on the straights. And as you can see on the minimap on the left hand side, he's really up to my tail, and he also can activate DRS now, so I knew he was making the move, and I just moved to the inside, trying to not give him too much space, braking in late into the hairpin, going really tight and making it then stick so that he can't overtake. And so that was it. I kept my position number 10, which was really important, because that's the last point to get, and yeah, that was really important to secure this point. And as you can see, we are just having 4 laps left, and I thought maybe I can do it, and maybe I can pick up some pace, and that would be really nice. And as you can see now, we are already jumping. It was a kind of boring race, I have to say. Already going into lap 13, you can see I extended the gap to Kvyat quite a lot. It's now about 3 seconds to him. I've really found my pace back. I was also gaining on Hülkenberg in front of us. Don't ask me where Raikkonen was gone, because he just had a pace that was just incredible. After I overtook Kvyat, I was really getting close to the back of Raikkonen, but then again, after the back straight, he was kind of disappeared, because he was doing lap times beyond incredible. He was 2 seconds a lap quicker than I was, and then 3 seconds, and now 3 laps later he was just vanished away. He overtook Hülkenberg, and I guess Paris is also in front of us, I don't know. But yeah, that was really crazy. And as you can see, we jumped somebody, and I believe it was already Paris or somebody who was out of the race. Yeah, 9th place would be a really good result for us. I mean, imagining that I didn't have that much experience on this track, it was really nice one. Going then here onto the back straight, I believe somewhere over here the guy has to be out of the race. I don't know where exactly it was, but yeah, I mean 9th place still, I just said it, is really nice. Over the race, by the way, I had some more problems with the fuel load and rich mix and MGUK, but I can already tell fortunately it holds up to the end, so we don't have any further actions to do. But for next race we might change the MGUK at least, and maybe also the MGU H maybe. But yeah, as you can see, going into the last lap, I was slowing down a little bit, but just because I was sweating a lot already. That was a really nice race, but you know, picking up the pace again, I really pushed up the force feedback to 50%, so it was really hard race, but it feels a lot better with increased force feedback, I have to say. But yeah, as you can see from the driving as well, I really just found back my rhythm. It's much cleaner than we had it in Australia, and saying this this lap, this track is really my worst track, as I said at the beginning, so I'm really happy with the performance. That said, this time I'm also uploading the whole race in cockpit view and in TV view as a non-commentary version, so where it's just the race from lap 1 to lap 14. So if you want to enjoy that one, just watch this channel, because it's also getting live today or maybe tomorrow. I think maybe today as well. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. As you can see, now moving on to the back straight, Sebastian Vettel won the race, and I have to say it's just the back straight and the hairpin and the left-hander, and we are also in the we are just finishing the race as well, so it's not that big of a gap as I have thought, because the other cars are just way quicker than I am, and yeah, obviously it's just 14 laps, but I thought the gap could be way quicker, way bigger. What the hell? But yeah, so never mind. It's I'm just really happy with the result, moving up into P9 in this race, having gained point in both of the first races, so I'm really pleased with the results in general. Hope you guys as well, and yeah, that was already the second race. Next week there might be a little bit of a delay, because I'm in London, as I said, then in Berlin, so I'll just getting back to my home on Saturday next weekend, so I don't know if I get it done. But yeah, as a finishing image, this is the result, and this is how my rivalry with Kevin is going. But yeah, as far as this is, I'm really good in the lead. I don't have any expectations that they are just putting Mr. Magnussen into first any longer. Maybe in the next race afterwards I'm getting the updates first, so that would be really nice. But yeah, thanks for watching as always, and give me your feedback, what you want to see in the future with F1 and how you like the video and whatever. Give it a go, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.